Well, Gaffer, welcome back. A couple of weeks into pre-season now. What's it like to be back after such a long time in such a strange period?
Yeah, I think it was strange for everybody. I think we all began to miss each other quite a bit. You know, I think we enjoy each other's company as staff and players, and you know, a big part of football is, you know, the togetherness, the unity, and bouncing off each other. So we've missed that. You know, it's all been done remotely, you know, over the period. But so we were really looking forward to coming back in once we got the green light, and we've been back at it now just about 2 weeks tomorrow, and you know, it's great to be around the boys again. You know, obviously a few new faces, obviously a lot of the boys from last year, and but yeah, it was just, we just wanted to get out on the grass and feel like we were in football again. And you know, we've worked hard. The players have worked exceptionally hard, but you know, there's a new feel about it because we've been away for quite a few months.
Obviously, we've seen as the signings coming in, talk about, you know, bringing that experience in, the leadership type character.
Yeah.
How have those new boys come in and settled in the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, really well. I think you know, we did have a profile of the type of player we wanted to bring in, and it took a lot of work, a lot of patience from everybody at the club, but we managed to get in the players we targeted up to a certain point, and you know, they've come in, they've shown what they can do. It's the games, and it's over the course of the season that we'll see their qualities, not just in the first couple of weeks. But we know what we've brought in real quality into the club, real experience and leadership, and you know, we needed to do that because, you know, obviously quite a few of those characters have left the club in the last 6 or 8 months, and you know, every successful team has those type of characters within them. So we knew we had to not just replace those guys as players, but also the characters and personalities, and so that was why, you know, it's not a massive group of players you're looking at. Then, you know, you sort of, it's quite defined, and that's why we took a bit of time to get them over the line. But you know, we know it's worth the sort of the effort to do that.
Don't want to keep using this strange cliche, but obviously for the lads being away for so long and, like you say, working remotely isn't quite normal for them. What sort of condition have they come back in? Are they looking relatively sharp?
Yeah, it's different from years before because we didn't play a full season, but we had a training programme from when we broke up, you know, in March, all the way through to the end of June. So we were working them, you know, 3, 4, 5 days a week, remotely, obviously, and we got a couple of days together to have a look at them voluntarily from the players that's socially distanced, and then we give them July as a break, and then we've hit the ground running from August 1st. So we actually think CV wise and fitness wise, they're probably back in better shape than they would have been if we had played full season, then just down tools for 6 to 8 weeks. I think we kept them in reasonably good shape, even though we didn't have eyes on them. But the players really approached that sort of that programme we put in place really well. But it was important we gave them a defined break as well, because we know how long the season is when it comes around to it. But the biggest thing for us is getting as much ball work into them as possible. I think being not kicking a ball for 5-6 months is a considerable amount of time for a professional footballer. So we've had to adapt our pre-season programme a little bit, a lot more ball work into it, you know, and we're working off an adaptable programme really, rather than having a defined 6-week programme. We're assessing everything as we go along, because we don't want to think they're too far ahead and push them till they break down, but we also have to make sure that they're fit enough to hit the ground running when the season starts. So but we've done a lot of research over the period we've been off. We've got a good expertise around the staff to monitor the players, and the biggest thing is the players approaching the right way, in which they have, but they've got to do the things right away from the pitch to marry up with what we do here. But I've been delighted. There's always 2 or 3 I think that need a bit of a kick up the backside or a little bit of a push along, but that's always the case. But in general, I'd say I was really happy with the way the the players came back into pre-season training.
We saw most of them play 45 minutes the other night against Crewe, Alex. The first pre-season friendly, as it were. What were your thoughts after that game? As we've said before, the result's never the most important thing. It's what you see.
Yeah, it's look, we had an in-house 11v11 the week before. Like I said, we wanted to try and get them into games as quickly as possible, but manage and control their minutes. And then Crewe was obviously the first game against an outside opponent, and what it is we wanted 45 minutes work from when we'd already had an extensive training session in the morning. We trained again the next morning. So we see these early pre-season games as what they are, and their training sessions really, but we want to get into good habits and see where our weak spots are, what we need to improve on and work on, and when you play an opponent like Crewe, that's what's going to happen. Any things you need to improve, they're going to be exposed. And so it was a brilliant game for us. I thought it was the first game for a long time for a lot of the players, and but I thought we did some good things, but obviously there was some improvements to make, and that's the plan all the way through pre-season, is to keep improving, because when the season kicks off in September, that's when we need to be ready.
There's about 3 weeks to go now until that Carabao Cup first round game. How much of an effect on planning is this congested start to the season going to have? Because it's very different to usual. That competition is very much going to be through September amidst the league and the FL Trophy starting. How much of a nightmare possibly is that going to be?
I don't know. It's difficult to tell. I think we're all in uncharted territory. That's the thing. No one's been in a situation where your whole squad has had 5-6 months off, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into 2 games a week. Straight away for the considerable amount of time at the start. So I think everyone's in uncharted territory and trying to assess and plan and prepare as best you can. You need to be adaptable. So obviously it's not ideal if you're playing in midweek straight away, all the way through September after such a long period of time. But we're not the only clubs that might have to face that schedule. So we'll still carry on what we were doing, and we have to just make sure that we look after the players, get them as fit as we possibly can, and then look after them in between the games when they come around. And if you're asking me as an ex-player, but if you ask any of the players, they love playing games. But obviously that's why this time is really important for us, because it's probably the only time we'll get, once the season starts, to get real training time into them, consistently, day in, day out, and work on the things that we have to do tactically and prepare for the season. So this time is so vital for us. It's important we try to get as many players through it without picking up injuries. But we're always a bit cautious around the players, because I think it's important, even if they have to miss 1 or 2 days, that they get the chunk of that 6-week period done. And once the games come around, we'll hit them head on and try and win as many as we can. But I don't think anyone can really give you a definitive idea of how it's going to look. Once it starts, I think with no crowds being there as well. We've obviously had that game against Crewe the other night, behind closed doors, and halfway through we actually realised that this is what it's going to be like when we come back. So it's a strange time, but we have to get used to it as quick as possible.
Ultimately though, are you looking forward to it and getting back to it?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of them. We're in this game because we love the game, and we love being on the training pitch. We love being in game situations. We love being in a team and a squad. And when that's taken away from you, you do feel like something's missing. So certainly towards the end, everyone was itching to get back in, and even though the players knew it was going to be pre-season training, I'm sure they were looking to come back and get amongst it again. So for us, it's we can't wait for the games, but there's a lot of preparation and hard work to do before we get to them. So but we're glad to be back.
And just finally, 1 or 2 new faces off the field around the place as well. How are new additions off the field going to come in and help throughout the course of the season? What's their role?
We're constantly trying to improve everything we have. We understand what's going to happen next year with the games and possibly a smaller squad. We're determined to to make sure the development squad pays dividends with players coming through, and we just wanted to strengthen the staffing around that and bring people in. And we brought in Neil Mwenni, who I know very well from Fleetwood, who's a fantastic strength and conditioning coach, and he's came in this week, so between him and Rob Williams, they'll look after all the professionals that we have at the club. So we're really looking forward to working with them. We've got Callum Davison, who's come in as well to help on that side. I think the players need that support for the physical preparation that you need to get through 10 months of football. And I think the additions we made in the summer will certainly enhance the staffing off the pitch for the players.